Hey guys, Dusty here. On has done it once again. They've put out an amazing shoe, and today I'm excited to be giving my first impressions review on the brand new Cloudeclipse. Alright, so first of all, this is my first impressions review. I've only done 2 runs in this shoe. You'll have to wait till I rack up 100 miles to have my full review. And like always, I'm going to go over some of the basic stats on this shoe and then my experience using it over the first couple of runs. So first of all, stack height I'm unsure of. However, I'm pretty sure it's at or very close to 40 millimeters in the rear, and if I had to guess, probably about 34 in the forefoot for about a 6, maybe a 6 to 8 millimeter heel to toe drop. My men's size 8.5 weighs in at 9.5 ounces or 270 grams. First of all, the fit and upper of this shoe, the upper seems to be very similar to what was found on the Cloud Surfer. Laces are nice, the tongue is fully gusseted, there isn't much opportunity for the tongue to slide around, which is nice. However, I wish they had made the tongue maybe a slightly bit thicker. I found during my first run in this shoe I had to pull over a couple times and relace a little bit looser just because I felt like maybe a little bit of pressure on the top of my foot, and I think a slightly thicker tongue would have been a solution. The fit of the Cloudeclipse is true to size, and it is decently roomy. It probably has about as much width as like a Cloud Monster. However, this upper has a little bit more structure and is more comfortable than the Cloud Monster. For those of you wondering, yes, the insoles are removable. You're getting a little bit of structure in the heel counter. Now this huge slab of midsole is using On's Helion foam, and as you might have noticed, this midsole is very similar to the Cloud Surfer. In fact, when I first saw the Cloudeclipse, I thought to myself, that's just the Cloud Surfer but on steroids. Now the Cloud Surfer was also On's very first shoe that did not feature a speed board, which is essentially in other On shoes a full-length plastic plate. Well, in the Cloudeclipse there is a speed board, however it's on the very bottom of the shoe. And as far as I can tell, it doesn't run the full length, it's mostly just in the midfoot. And I think it really works in this shoe. So in On models of past, people would complain that they felt too firm, and oftentimes that was just the feeling of having the speed board on top of the midsole, and that's what people were feeling when they were foot striking. Whereas now this speed board is on the very bottom of the shoe. So on every foot strike, you're going to feel the cush of this big thick midsole first. And having the speed board as an X on the bottom of the shoe makes this shoe ultra stiff. It almost feels as stiff as like a carbon plated shoe. You get a little bit of bend in the forefoot, but as far as the midfoot goes, super solid, super stable. If you're someone who needs some stability and found that the Cloud Surfer just didn't offer enough for you, more than likely the Cloudeclipse will offer enough stability for you. And as far as the outsole goes, you're getting tons of rubber coverage, and it looks like more and more every new shoe On puts out that gone are the days of the traditional Cloud pods, which would get rocks stuck in between each of the pods. Alright, so I have 2 runs done in this shoe, and other than that slight pressure on the top of the foot just as I try to dial in the lacing, other than that, I gotta say I totally love this shoe. I think for a lot of runners, the Cloudeclipse is going to be a staple in their running shoe rotation as a daily trainer / long run shoe. I suppose you could even compare the Cloudeclipse to something like a Hoka Bondi, although I would say the Cloudeclipse is a lot more runnable than the Bondi. And honestly, over the next 2 weeks, I'll probably rack up 100 miles in the shoe very quickly, so you don't have to wait too long to see my full review. In fact, this weekend I have a 35 to 36k long run, and I'm definitely going to be wearing the Cloudeclipse for that. And obviously this shoe isn't made for intervals, but I will say for my first run in this shoe I did a short warm-up, and then I joined a couple of my training partners as they were wrapping up on the track, and we did 3x1k, kind of between that 350 per kilometer to 4-minute pace, and the shoe did feel very nice at those paces. But ultimately this shoe isn't going to be designed for ripping off 400 meter repeats or running a fast 5k. You want to maybe race it for a marathon or do some longer training daily miles in it. Oh, and lastly, price of the shoe. I'm unsure of what it'll retail for in Canada. However, in the US it retails for $180. And I think that's going to be it for my first impressions review. If you have any questions about the shoe, leave your comments down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.